light shines on, the Spirit helps me guide my way. I know this ain't just me. I walk strong, but this time I won't be afraid. I know this ain't just me. No, this ain't just me.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me. This is Amanda from Silver Arrow Tarot, and today we're going to do a pick a card, and the topic is going to be what surprises are on the horizon for you. Okay, so we have 3 stones. I will be using each of these decks in each pile, so please pick by the crystal. So the first crystal you have here is, I believe, a ruby and zoisite matrix. Then we have a green adventure, and then we have a fossilized piece of wood. All right, guys, let me do a little bit of Palo Santo for you. I have Reiki'd the room, I have Reiki'd myself, and I have cleansed and Reiki'd the cards. So it is up to you whether you wish to receive. All you have to do is set your intention to receive Reiki as you watch. All right, guys, let's see what surprises you have in store. I'll see you in your pile. Bye. Hi, beautiful pile 1. Welcome to your reading. We are going to do some shuffling on camera today. So if you wish to forward through that, you may. And I just would like to let you know that at the very end of the reading, we're doing a quick yes or no question. So I will be pulling some cards, and you can ask any question to see if it's a very quick yes or no. All right, guys, so we're going to get started. Please, Spirit, bring forth any messages for the highest, greatest good of pile 1 and the collective who may watch this video. Please bring any messages relevant to any surprises that are on the horizon for pile 1 that you wish them to become aware of. Okay, so some pliers here. We have the 4 of Pentacles. We have the Hermit. And then we have the King of Swords, which landed in reverse, so I'm going to take that in a reverse situation. 4 of Cups at the bottom of your deck. Let's pull from our Sacred Earth Oracle. That was fast as well. So you have friction. And we have rediscovery. Let's see, we're gonna need to adjust, huh? We have your other card here. Let you see. You have efficiency, let's pull from this beautiful deck, the Faceted Garden. Let's see. Any final messages coming forward? Help me get a full picture here. Spring, cactus, and cave. So here, so you can take a close up. You have spring, cactus, and cave. So, good. All right. All right. So let's dive in. I had to sit with the cards for just a minute just to make sure I was picking up everything. I like to sit and touch the card and get quiet and pull from the messages that I'm getting internally. But the first thing here that we are seeing, that I'm seeing, has to do with your time and how you use your time. With this card, Four of Pentacles, I was really getting the sense of time, and I was hearing overuse of time, so it's just kind of weird, right? Overuse of time. But to me, it was really kind of talking about how maybe you may be using your time in an inefficient way, because we also have this card of efficiency. So the Four of Pentacles also speaks about comfort zones a lot of times, or being kind of in a space of not wanting to move forward. Pentacles are kind of slow, and you know, in the traditional card, there's a man, he's holding his Four Pentacles. He has like a little crown on, and he's got the city behind him, and he's got his feet on two, and he's holding the other two. And it's like, I've got what I need. I don't need, you know, I don't want to risk destabilizing myself by trying to go out there and get more or change what I'm doing, because I feel like it's kind of working well enough. So I feel like the surprises on the horizon for you have to do with changing up your routines, changing up how you maybe perceive your life or your routine, or just any kind of situation maybe in your world right now. So I heard round and round in circles with this card also. So there is definitely this sense that maybe you are sort of stuck in a loop, and the universe is going to come in. I feel like there's going to be something that happens soon that you don't expect. Some way that something or someone or some situation is going to come in and help to shift this. So this card of the Hermit, I heard lantern in the dark. So this could be talking about you sort of searching for answers, or you being in a sort of a hermit mode. I feel like the danger of the hermit can potentially be that we spend too much time in the hermit mode. We get kind of comfortable in the hermit mode, and we don't recognize when it's time to start to move outward again. And it can be kind of a comfort zone, right? To stay more inward, to stay more isolated, to stay more in and of yourself, and not reach out to outside resources for help. The Hermit is definitely someone who is very, smart, intelligent, seeks answers within, and is very independent. So we can tend to isolate sometimes, right? When we feel that we've sort of had to go a part of our journey by ourselves, and it's like, oh yeah, I kind of forget that, like, I can actually reach out, and I can ask for help from people around me, or there's resources for me. So we have this King of Swords here. Oops. And he's in the reverse, so this was the cactus card. Because of the purples, there is a lot of greens and purples, which I found interesting. So maybe that will validate for you that this is your pile of, if you've been seeing a lot of greens or purples, or you've been gravitating towards those colors. There's a lot of green, purple, green. I have a lot of that. There's purple here. So what I was hearing was that there's a bit of a prickly feeling, a bit of a prickly energy. So you may be, like I said, in this space of like maybe not wanting a lot of input from the outside world, or have been recently in a space of like not really wanting to listen to anyone else's advice, opinions. The swords aren't mental. They are, and the King of Swords is a very cerebral energy. He's very logical, very intelligent. So the danger with that can obviously be that we are maybe too much up in the mind sometimes, and not allowing other types of wisdom to percolate from different aspects of our being, such as solar plexus, the heart, because we are relying heavily on mental digestion of our world and our situation, and how we wish to go about things. So with this spring card, there is something on the horizon for you, which is a bit of a renewal. It's a bit of a new way of being. It's a new start. It's fresh energy. It's what did I have here? Hopeful. I wrote down hopeful for this card. So there's a lot to be hopeful about for you coming up. And the biggest, most important card I feel that's here is this card about rediscovery. So there's something coming up for you. You're going to be rediscovering something about yourself. You're going to be reevaluating, coming out of this cave, because we have, interestingly, we have these 4 stones, and then there's 4 here. So I really feel that these cards are kind of talking about the same thing. I also heard, what did I hear? I think I heard like a feedback loop. So yeah, like with this King of Swords energy, there's like kind of a feedback loop of information. You may be regurgitating advice or information in your head, or someone may be sort of reinforcing patterns for you that aren't necessarily going to move you in the direction that you want to be moving in. And so the surprises coming up for you is that there is a shift going to be happening within your mental body to help with this friction or tension in your life. There's a shed. I really see with this card that there's like, I feel like she's shedding leaves, from like shedding a skin almost, or I mean, they look like leaves to me, or feathers or petals. So there's a shift coming where you're going to reevaluate something that maybe you thought was an efficient way of going about things or doing something. And this is going to be put aside, and I think you're going to be learning maybe a new way of being, or a new way of thinking, or a new approach to your project, or just life goals in general, right? Did I take a look at this? I didn't. So that, yeah, 4 of Cups. So there's another 4. So it also talks to me about, you know, there's a man sitting on a hill and he's not seeing the cup. So a bit of dissatisfaction, but not really knowing which way to move. So I think this is, yeah, reinforcing what I was saying. There is going to be a shift for you, and it's going to make things a lot easier. It's going to really lighten up any tension or friction, or feeling like you're running up against certain resistances in your body or in your external reality. And it's going to make things a lot more efficient. It's going to bring you a lot more hope. It's going to bring you out of this hermit kind of phase. And it's going to help with any kind of energy you've got going on in the mind. Personally, I hope you don't mind, but yes, personally, this actually makes a lot of sense to me, because Gemini season, which is what we're in right now, although we'll be shortly moving away, is a very mental heavy season for me. And I am noticing, you know, myself up in my head a lot and ruminating more, even though I've practiced, you know, moving out of that energy that used to be something that I really, really struggled with. And I've noticed a resurgence of a bit of that energy with this season. This air sign season has kind of brung that back for another layer of letting go and remembering to step out of those mental patterns of trying to figure out everything from a mental space. So as I promised, we're going to do a yes or no for the very end of this reading. I'm going to be using the angel answers. So I will pull some cards. I want you to sit and quietly ask yourself any question that you'd like to ask these cards. And it ideally is a yes or no type of question that you're framing in your mind. And I will pull 3 cards and we'll see yes or no for you. All right. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing us clear, concise information today. For pile 1, please help me to read these cards and to bring about a useful answer for pile 1, a yes or no question. Thank you so much. All right, so those are your 3 cards. You have let go. You have big, happy changes. And you have a year from now. All right, so I definitely think this is a yes, although there's the caveat that it could take more time than you expect or anticipate. And it does require that you let go of any energy around feeling like this is not going to come to fruition for you. It's time to release any blocks or any internal resistances. Look into asking yourself, journaling around what would happen if you didn't get to have this thing happen, so that you can see that it would be fine, you know, you would be okay if it didn't happen, and that's going to help bring it faster, because it helps to soften any parts of you that are clinging and, you know, too desperately pulling to needing that outcome to come towards you. Things in the universe like to come when we have already decided that we are happy, we're content, and that things are already working out in our favor. So this is the energy to be in. Now, I do want to say that, you know, these timelines can definitely be shifted very easily, so don't get discouraged. You know, this is just a general reading, of course, so anything can be shifted sooner. But they're saying if nothing does change, then it will be around a year, 12 months. All right, guys, so I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for being here. Check me out in the description box below if you need a private reading. I am here for you if you need it. And I will see you again soon. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. Today we're going to figure out what surprises are on the horizon for you. I'm going to be doing some shuffling live. So you may, if you choose, you want to skip forward through the shuffling, but you know, I have to do what the guides tell me to do. That's how it works. And very importantly, I'm doing a quick yes or no, 3 cards at the very end. So stay tuned to the very, very end to get your answers to a very specific yes or no that you want to ask. So be thinking about that. But we're going to take a look here with the Synesthesia Tarot. I forgot to talk about our decks the beginning. So we have the Synesthesia Tarot, and we're going to pull some cards once it feels good. All right. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing forth the clearest and highest good for all messages for the collective who are reading and listening to and watching Pile 2. Let us bring forth messages of clarity about surprises on the horizon for Pile 2, which you wish them to know about. Thank you, amen, and so it is. I like it when they flip out. So let's try that again. All right. Oh, you guys don't want to talk today. That's interesting. Oh, there we go. We're going to get some from Sacred Earth Oracle. And finally, we're going to look at these beautiful cards from, I got from Etsy, called the Faceted Garden. let's take a look. So your first cards from the synesthesia was, we have the Knight of Wands. Wow, the cards really sliced my finger. All right, so you have a Knight of Wands. You have Queen of Swords. We have Six of Pentacles. And then Sacred Earth, you have Fortitude, which is just a stunning card, really. There's a puma, an eagle, a wolf. And we have like an elk down here, like a little like a mongoose or a ferret. Very cool. And we have Absence, which I have not seen this card very often, maybe ever come out in a pick a card. There's lots of blue. I'm seeing there's like blue here. Interesting. And then we have Birth. You have Anomaly. And we have Nest. All right, so the first way that I am reading these cards, I heard fiery passion coming from this Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands usually represents a person with a lot of passion and fiery energy. It can be a bit impulsive. Can be someone with a lot of sexual energy. So this could be a suitor or someone interested in you in some form or fashion. But like I said, with these blues, this predominance of blue that I was really picking up on, I was really hearing that there's going to be like a cooling off period. This especially makes me feel this way because of the Queen of Swords is a very logical, cool, calm, collected person. This could be you or this could be them, if we're talking about a relationship or something. And this energy is going to come in and help balance the situation out, because the Six of Pentacles talks about a balanced giving and receiving energy. And I have to be honest with the way the cards, come out. For some of you, I'm going to look at other scenarios, but for some of you, this may include someone pulling back, either you or them, to create some more space. May not be a complete, I'm not talking about like necessarily a block delete situation, but someone might be pulling back a bit to balance this fiery energy, this maybe impulsive energy, because seems to me that there is a need for some logical, more cerebral energy, which is funny because the other pile was talking about this same kind of cerebral energy, but in a completely different context. Yeah, so that's the first thing. And I also forgot to mention for the back of the deck is the Empress. So interesting energies coming through here with the Empress. But let's move forward. It's so interesting that I'm hearing that like the scales have tipped or the scales have turned. I'm double checking here because I don't necessarily want to read this as a love reading. I wanted it to be more general, but like I'm really getting a strong sense that someone is pursuing someone else, either you or someone is pursuing you or you are pursuing them. But the surprise that's in store for you, or the surprise that you don't necessarily see, that's on the horizon, is that the scales are going to flip, the tables are going to turn, and someone might be who was kind of the pursuer, is now going to step back, and someone else is going to come in and sort of be the more of the initiator in the relationship or project, or I suppose this could potentially apply to a job situation, maybe, or maybe if you're buying a house or something, and they're coming back and saying we want you to, other people, their bids fell through, and now we want you, and you were once really hot on it, and now it's like, now they're pursuing you, now they're after you. So that's sort of what I'm getting for some. It feels though that there's also with this Empress on this birth card, there's an element here talking to me about fertility. With the Empress, she's often portrayed as being pregnant. So very interesting to me that we have this baby here. Looks like it's in the womb, or womb-like position. So something else you may not see coming is potentially a pregnancy. So be careful if you are not wanting that right now. Yeah, just a little side note there. So the more that I look at these cards, they're really just sort of, interestingly enough, I wasn't focusing on these, but they're just really tying in with everything else that I was saying. So could possibly even be that you were wanting to become pregnant, and the other person was saying no, and it's not the right time, and now like the tables have turned, and they're saying like, you're saying, oh, let's wait, and they're saying let's go. And because of this card, there's just so many symbols of fertility in this reading that it's kind of blowing my mind. Like rabbits, bunnies to me are a huge symbol of fertility and reproduction, because they do reproduce so quickly. And we also have these eggs in the nest here, which is very much like this birth card, this, So also what I was talking about like buying a home. Maybe you're trying to start a family, buy a home. But there's something here, with this anomaly card telling me that like, this is the surprise, is that something is going to happen where you don't expect, something unexpected is definitely, I know we're talking about that, that's the whole point of this reading, but something is very unexpected for you in this upcoming period of time. It's like, you're like, I feel like you're saying like there's gonna be like a glitch in the matrix. I don't understand. It's very much of a surprise. And the other message that I have to relay for pile 2 is that animals are coming through really strongly in this reading. So I highly suggest that pile 2, you guys start to really pay attention to animal symbolism, read up on animal totems. The animal kingdom is really wanting to talk to you and work with you. So learn about your spirit animal, learn about the different animals and their meanings. I have some great books. I'm kind of obsessed with this right now. I'm like really interested in different animal meanings. So it's a whole wonderful world out there of books, and you can Google it, obviously. So really pay attention to the animals around you that you're seeing. Even if you live in a city, there's even if you see a city pigeon, you're living in New York, that's still an animal message. So really start to pay attention to that stuff, because they're trying to talk to you, and sometimes even your spirit guides will come through in the form of an animal. I know for sure that that's happened to me at least a couple times. you know, spirit, like a squirrel will just like stop and like stare at me. And I'm like, this is not normal squirrel behavior. So I really feel that, you know, my guides are really working through the animal kingdom to communicate and convey that they are around. And I feel like they're doing this for you as well. And potentially some of these animals on this deck, on this card, could be significant to you. Puma, like I said, wolf, hawk, right? As well as rabbit, these little speckled eggs, I'm not sure, but yeah, that's a particular bird that lays the little speckled eggs. And also horse. I know horses might be significant for you. All right, so I really feel that there might be some unexpected surprises for pile 2 and with regards to home and family, a romantic situation that might really catch you off guard. But I want to reassure you with this rainbow here that it's all for the best, and it's all whatever situation you might find yourself in, please know that this is something that is growing your soul and evolving your soul, and it's helping to provide you with soul wisdom and fortitude, and knowing your own strength, because that's what I wrote down as strength. So, you know, difficult circumstances, no one wants them, obviously, and there's no sugarcoating it. When life hands you lemons, it's never a fun time, but there is always some silver lining and positive reason behind it happening from a larger perspective. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling if the situation, you know, is difficult for you, just know that you are receiving a lot of wisdom and strength from it, that will serve you in the long run. It will serve your greater purpose in life and your greater mission here on the planet. That is the most important thing I feel that, you know, pile 2 should take from this reading. And we're gonna take a look at your question. So I'll be using the angel answers if you want to sit quietly for a second and formulate your yes or no question. We're going to shuffle 3 cards, and I will get a yes or no answer for you. All right. Well, okay. Well, here you go. So you have romance, which is kind of really reinforcing what I was already talking about. So your question may be related to this situation. It says peaceful resolution. There is something better. All right. So this is obviously a collective reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. But there is a peaceful resolution. The answer is that whatever your question was, yes or no, this will be a peaceful resolution. But for some of you, there might be something that you don't see that's coming up for you in terms of a romantic partnership, and this situation that's unfolding now is for preparing you for something better. So if you are in a committed partnership and you don't see it dissolving, or you moving on to something else, I do see that this partnership will transform into something new. So it might take on a new form, might take on a new, you might come to some sort of agreements in moving forward in your partnership, that there's a distinct, before and after situation. All right, so there is definitely love here. Whatever situation that you're asking about, there is love. So you should expect that the person in question is trying to work with your best interests at heart, and that they are not, let's say, narcissistic in nature, or selfish in nature, that this is something that is good for both of you, and they're trying to make sure of that. Your guides are trying to make sure of that. The angels are trying to make sure of that. So we have another rainbow here. So that really does tell me that your grander vision for your life is assured. That whatever you're hoping for, in short term or long term, is going to come to fruition. All right, guys, so I love you so much. If you need more specific guidance, please go ahead and check out in the description box below, and you can order a personalized reading from me. And in the meantime, I'm wishing you so much happiness, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So we're going to do some live shuffling today, as per requested by my guides. So if you do not like the shuffling, of course, you are free to scrub past. But I have to do as guides wish. So we're going to be using the Synesthesia Tarot, the Sacred Earth Oracle, and my very newest favorite, the Faceted Garden. And as a bonus, guys, stick to the end, because I'm doing a 3-card pull for a specific yes or no that you would like to ask. All right, so stay tuned for that at the very end. If you have a specific yes or no question, we will be answering that. All right, so that was long-winded. I need a drink of water. All right, so if you chose this petrified wood stone, we're going to be taking a look at what surprises are coming on the horizon for you that you may not be aware of, but your guides want to let you know. So, I don't know. I'm going to just quickly do a little Santo. Just make sure that pile 2 has left the building for you. All right. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing forth clarity and guidance for the greatest and highest good for the collective of pile 3 and everyone who will read and listen to pile 3's messages. We're bringing through messages related to any surprises they may not see. What you wish to know, let them know. Thank you, amen, and so it is. All right, so we have the Tower coming out first. We have the Three of Wands and the Two of Cups. So let's keep going. And we have bottom of the deck, High Priestess, which I'll put right there. So let's take a look at Sacred Earth. See what comes through for you. Get more clarity. Expectations, which is the cover art for this deck. Surface. I'm gonna put that right there. Very different from the other two piles already. Love when that happens. And then let's take a look at these cards. Even though they tend to be very sharp. Don't want to talk. What's happening here, guys? Take a deep breath for me. It's way too many. Thank you, but we have less. Something happening here. We got bloom. We have core. Let's get one more. So interesting. The colors and everything are like matching with each of these piles. Okay. Wood is the final card. Okay. All right. All right, pile 3. So, I just, fair warning here, guys. So this might be a little bit of a more difficult read with this Tower card. So if you don't feel like that's you, then feel free to skip this one. This is obviously kind of a specific message for some of you. May not resonate. Stick around if you wish, just to see if there's any messages that are for you. But I just wanted to, make sure that people are clear on this particular pile. So, this stone is really, along with its Tower card, is making me think about foundations. And we have this card Bloom and this High Priestess. So I really feel like you're being taken on a journey from this innocent energy to this very wise and very, very perceptive energy. Someone, maybe you could be a little bit in the dark about something at this time, and this experience, this thing that's unexpected that's coming up, is going to be transforming you, and ultimately I feel enhancing your psychic abilities, because it's calling you into a deeper self-awareness or a deeper desire to be perceptive. I know that my psychic abilities personally opened up greatly as a result of a very difficult life experience that I had, where I felt very blindsided and kind of in the dark, and I was being lied to. And so that was my soul, calling forth to become, more aware of my psychic abilities, of being able to read the signs and be like, not just sort of have those inklings or those hunches, but like bringing that to the forefront of my being and being able to be like, aha, I got that psychic impression. That means this, and I trust it, right? So these more difficult things that we can go through in life do have that effect on some of us. And honestly, my pile threes, or usually pile threes or pile fours, are typically my most psychic pile. So yeah, with this tower, I heard chaos precedes all life. So I'm actually working on a painting right now called The Creation Matrix, and it looks very chaotic. And so that really makes me think about, that we think that things should look a certain way sometimes when things are coming together for us, but sometimes they can look like they're falling apart right before they actually start to coalesce into an organized system, right? So there is that moment when all of the goo of primordial soup somehow sort of comes together and starts to create a life form. So it looks like chaos, but it's, the necessary ingredients for life, for that fire. There's a lot of reference here in your reading to fire with these Three of Wands, this wood card in the back of the deck. Here we had Ram, which looks a lot like fire, or maybe it's blood, I'm not sure. But fire to me, Aries, Ram, that's a fire sign. So there is a message here for some of you. You will know about this innocent, moving from this innocent energy into a space of more wisdom. And it has to do with something at the very core of your being or your life or a situation. Something very deep, because in order for the tower to fall, the foundation, the whole premise of this card is that the foundation was not built properly, and at some point this tower is coming down. So it has to be then rebuilt. So the beauty of that is that you get to build a stronger foundation next time around, and one that is going to stand the test of be able to weather various storms in your life. And yeah, so either within you or within a situation, something deep is coming to the surface. And with this card, I heard lake. So there might be a deep, untapped well even of emotions for you that you didn't even know existed, that are coming to the surface, that are going to light a fire for you, and they're going to propel you forward, because the Three of Wands is really talking about you see this, it's like you're moving through like almost this portal here. You're moving into the future. You're setting off on a new journey with all this excitement and vitality and energy. So that's what that card really talks about. And it's interesting to me because, obviously I suppose this is supposed to represent smoke, but I was hearing steam. And it's right below these 2 cups, which are the only cups in the whole reading. And these cups are upside down. The 2 of Cups talks about unions, talks about healing too as well. So I was hearing that these cups were spilled, or they're going to be spilled, depending on where you are when you're watching this reading. So I'm seeing that like the water spills, and then the fire turns this water into steam, which is alchemizing your emotions, right? It's propelling you forward. It's blending fire and water, which are the 2 most difficult elements to get the balance right. So just to make sure I'm getting everything. Look at my notes here. So yeah, we're talking about the deep core wound being revealed, coming to the surface. There's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of steam, there's a lot of heat, and there's a lot of there's a potential here for some of you that a union perhaps is there's some upheaval within a particular relationship, or if not, within yourself. I've been working a lot with balancing my inner masculine and feminine. So there might be some internal issues with these emotions and blending your fire and your water, your masculine, your feminine energy. But ultimately, these things are going to propel you. It's really talking to me about propelling you forward. This surprise that you don't see coming. And with this card, I'm hearing overjoyed. You either had a certain expectation about this situation, this 2 of Cups situation, and you expected it to turn out a certain way, but maybe certain things are coming to light that really because it was hearing innocent, so you were really, really innocent of any hints perhaps that this tower might come down. So I'm sorry if that's happening. My heart goes out to you. These tower moments in life are never ever easy, and they really do knock you for a loop. And it sucks. It's not easy. And I hope you can feel through my words and through my reading today that I do really sympathize and empathize with going through these kind of situations. But I'm hoping that I can bring you some solace with letting you know that this situation is bringing you a lot of hidden knowledge and psychic awareness. And it's teaching you about who you are and what you're capable of. And it's really, really growing certain parts of your being and maturing them and bringing them into the light, bringing them up to the surface so that you can see the truth of who you really are and what the bigger truth of you and your soul. So I feel like that's the basic message for this pile. I know that's, like I said, wasn't the easiest. We're gonna go ahead and do a yes or no for you. If you have a particular question, please go ahead and ask it right now. I really, just to reiterate, there is a huge emotional depth here in this reading. So I feel that you are quite emotionally deep, emotionally complex, and I think that you're going to be learning more about that part of yourself, and really appreciating yourself first and foremost for this depth. And that's important moving forward, so that you can attract people into your life that also really appreciate that emotional depth as well. And you're not feeling like the people in your life don't get you, don't understand you. Okay, so your first card, it's up to you. Get more information and remain positive. So not a strong yes or no, but it does, if I have to pick one, it's it's a yes, because it's up to you. It depends on you. It depends on your mindset and what you set your sights on, and really attracting that from the space of attracting what you desire, or the yes outcome, the wanted outcome, from a space of knowing that it's possible and that you are worthy. And yeah, so I'm gonna pull one more, because this get more information card usually says just pull another card. Okay, so forgiveness. So please forgive anyone. Forgive yourself first and foremost for any perceived mistakes or missteps that you may feel that you have made. Maybe forgive yourself if you feel like you didn't see something, or were too innocent to know better. You may pride yourself on being quite psychic, and maybe you don't see this tower moment coming. And so yeah, I think self-forgiveness, an attitude of forgiveness for any situation that you may be facing, is really, really important. Not to say that that's something that's easy, and certainly cannot necessarily be forced. However, there are little hacks that I like to use. There's a really great mantra, which I'll link below, and simply just asking, saying, I don't, if you struggle with forgiveness, if forgiveness is something you tend to struggle with, just say, God, universe, source, angels, guides, whoever you like to talk to, I don't know how to forgive. I don't know how to do it, but I'm willing to learn. Please show me. And I can't tell you how much that helps. Like, it's helped me so much. Just opening myself up and saying, you know what, I want to know how, but I don't know how. And oftentimes you'll find a shift in your energy, or a shift in your emotions, or you'll watch something, or you read something, or you're gonna hear something, or like I said, you work a mantra, you write a letter, you scream it out, and suddenly it feels lighter, it feels easier. And these things take time. Forgiveness is something that I feel has come to me in layers. So all that to say, I know I'm rambling, all that to say is that it is possible to move the energy of forgiveness into your body with a little bit of, like it says, positive intention, remaining positive, remaining open. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you need personal guidance, please remember, check me out in the description box below for personal readings. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.